Today on foxyroxyreviews, we'll talk about the breaking news of a trans woman breastfeeding. Hello and welcome to foxyroxyreviews. If you're brand new to the channel, we cover everything trans, from features, well-being and reviews. If you're coming back, thank you very much for stopping by.
What's the topic of the day?
I always keep an eye on the trans news feeds just to see what's coming up, and this particular topic lit up so many different sources, and it's something that's really exciting. I know from talking to my trans friends, as well as on multiple documentaries that I've watched, the desire from trans women to have babies and to breastfeed and to do a lot of different things that maybe other people might take for granted. I know that sometimes this can be a controversial topic, but I did really want to highlight this because it's a big deal, because I know for a lot of trans women it's something that they might want or consider. I know when I came out in the late noughties, I did actually consider freezing my sperm, but at that point I didn't have the cash, and reading up on things now, it's not always 100% perfect and there still can be some issues. I know my own transition, that's something that I've just accepted because it's something that is biologically difficult. But to hear this news is something quite exceptional because there's loads of things that go with that nurturing side. There's lots of research around kind of child development that having that level of intimacy with breastfeeding is very positive for both the child and the parent and kind of bring families closer together. There's lots of very interesting elements to this particular story. So this 30-year-old trans woman actually wanted to breastfeed and the partner didn't want to do that and they wanted to be supportive, and I found that very progressive. So the couple approached a transgender medical and surgery centre in New York to see what could be done, and this resulted in a study being published in the Journal of Transgender Health. By using an anti-nausea medication which had an off-label benefit of increasing lactation with other hormone therapies, actually managed to generate enough lactation to support a growing child. For at least some trans women, I could see this as a massive deal, because those drives and desires to want to have children and to want to be involved in the upbringing don't go away because we're trans. We or anyone else didn't choose to be trans, it's just how our cards were dealt. So I think this is potentially a massive move forwards. However, this great news does come with a couple of caveats. The anti-nausea medication used, it's the side effect which produces the lactation and has been brought into question some aspects of use of the medication. And because this treatment is so new, there is some caution here. From what doctors have said from these news articles, obviously we don't know the quality of the breast milk that's there, and with any off-label use of medication, question marks around the anti-nausea medication itself, there has been some health concerns raised. So I think at the moment it's unlikely to have a mass rollout because of this, but this does happen a lot when you touch new ground, and the doctors are actively monitoring the health situation. So they're not reporting any active concerns, they are keeping an eye on the couple just to make sure everything's okay and everything's moving forwards, because I think there's more research and there's other bits and pieces they want to do, because from what I've been reading it does sound like the first of its kind, and of course anything this pioneering, not that much is known about it at the moment, but I do think it's a spark of hope. And of course it's not that long ago where we can talk about womb transplants again, which is something potentially very exciting. But with those types of treatments, there's still a lot of caution around those as well, and how successful they're going to be, because there's lots of things to consider and lots of things you have to take account for and difficulties in the procedure itself. What would be really interesting is if in the comments you could put what you think about this news story. The only thing we do ask is you keep these comments constructive. We're still very much on the fence. We see the massive benefits and the potential, and I know a number of trans women that really want to have a child and really have their desires to have a child. From what we can see and what the doctors have said out of interest though, is that their thinking is once you go through kind of hormone treatments, they don't see any reason why a trans woman should be significantly different from a cisgendered woman when producing milk. You'll have all the social media links here, so if you have any news stories that you want us to cover, topics or reviews or anything like that, please do let us know. And to keep up to date with trans features, well-being and reviews, subscribe.